Litecoin and Bitcoin update. What's up, guys? Crypto Savvy here with your daily update. I haven't made a video in the last couple days because nothing has really changed with my targets. So I'm gonna run through the targets again real quick, look at how we're doing, and then we're gonna again take a look at the charts that nobody seems to be looking at, the comparison to Bitcoin and gold. I believe it's pretty significant and people are kind of ignoring it, especially the bears. So stick around, how to be interesting. What's up, guys? As always, I want to start out by saying I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is my opinion and my view of the market only. Anybody that's doing any investing or any trading in this market, I suggest you do your own due diligence and your own research, as this market is extremely volatile and risky. Also, I want to say, I'm showing everybody the targets in here, my targets and my opinions. If anybody that is trading, please be sure to understand how to trade and to control your risk to reward. And, and if you do that and learn your stop losses and your risk to reward, and you can do pretty good in trading. So let's look at where we're at. As you can see, this is Litecoin on the daily, and we're going towards my first target, the $56 range. And by what it looks like, I think we'll break through this and get up to the $59 or $60 range here. I'm gonna go through real quick, just show you if you haven't watched the videos before. But before I begin, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button on the lower right hand side of the screen. Tick the little bell to get you notified when I post videos. Give it a giant thumbs up if you like the content, and leave your comments. Let me know what you think at the bottom. All right, let's get into it. So my targets here, I'm gonna go into it real quick, and we're gonna look at how I came up with the targets. So first of all, that we took, if you look here, we had a bull flag, or a flagpole, the bull flag. We did the measured move on that. Measure the whole flagpole here down to where we broke out of down here, move it up to where we broke out, and that gets us to the $56 range. Yeah, so now, like I said, looks like we're getting towards the $56 target. First of all, that gets us above the 200 EMA in the daily, and we've opened the candle above it. If we close this candle above it, I believe, then our 200 EMA will become our support rather than resistance. Also, let's look at another target where we broke out. So where we're breaking out here, measure the channel down and up to the top of the channel, and that's what gets me my $64 range here. So I do believe that's where we're headed, the $64 range. And I did have these lower targets here too. If we were to break down, the support would be the bottom of this channel here. And as it moves along, we move this support up because we're moving higher. Whoops, sorry about that. We're moving higher up, so obviously the channel moves up higher. So move that up a little bit to, if we were to break down here, which I don't see it happening anytime soon. But guys, remember, we will have a correction after one of these targets are hit, and then we've got to correct back down at some point. But I do think we have seen our lows here, guys. With always keeping in mind the possibility of a double bottom. And like I said, we could go down further, but I don't see it, in my opinion. And this target down here I had, if we break the bottom of the channel, which would be right around in this range here, right around the $23 to $24 range. So keep an eye on that. But like I said, everything's looking good here. We're going to go into the RSI and look at the rising wedge I've had drawn here. And as you can see, it's still supporting us. And I believe, you know, up here is where we're going to get the resistance of our next high. So as you can see, we dipped through just a little bit here, kind of like a bear trap in the RSI, and then shot back up. Let's look into the 4 hour. I know I had people saying it was a weird symmetrical triangle, but if you look at it, you know, we broke down, came back up, tested for support or resistance, like I said, and then broke through. Then the top came resistance again, broke back through the bottom, and back up again with a very strong push. And we still have room to move up, and that's where I believe it'll get us to our next high. So that's that. Now let's go into the 4 hour and get a better look of where this move might be taking us right now. Obviously we've broken out of, and if you see, we've hit my blue line here, which was the support resistance line at 56.01, and it hit it perfectly, and now we're getting some resistance there. But I will believe we're going to break out of that. It may take a little bit of time, let the lower time frame RSIs cool off, but we'll measure this breakout, this flagpole, to where we broke out of this flag, and that's what brings us up to the $60 range. That's where we're at right now. And as you can see, all of my exponential moving averages have crossed up very strong here, and that's pretty bullish. Once you cross up and open and close a candle out of it, you know, usually this will remain support for a while to give us the push up. So anyways, like I said, my targets have not changed, and that's why I really didn't make any videos last couple days, but I figured I would get on and take a look since we're finally getting the movement. But as you can see, we've finally hit the first target of $56. So looking good, guys. Let's go into Bitcoin now. And again, a reminder, if you haven't subscribed already, click the subscribe button in the lower right hand side of the screen. Tick the little notification bell to get you notified when I post new videos. Give it a giant thumbs up if you like the content, and leave your comments, guys. It really helps the channel out, and I like to hear you guys' comments and see what you guys think. So all right, we're going to look at Bitcoin we're in the daily now. As you can see, I have this big falling wedge drawn in here. I'll zoom out a little bit so you can see it. And we had this symmetrical triangle that we were watching for a long time now. And I know some people, guys, have the lines drawn different, but I don't like to move this line because it has been very significant in what we're seeing. I know some guys drew it a little bit lower, and some guys are drawing it more across, and some guys are making it a rising or a ascending triangle. But I really like where I have the lines here, and it's been, you know, we get a little bear trap, and moving on up. So let's take a look at the targets. First, we're going to take a look at the big targets. And we're going to measure the whole width of the triangle over at the widest point and bring it over to where we broke out initially. And that brings us up to the $5,000 range, which is my high target if we are to break through these targets here, which we've hit the 41.79 once. And my next target is the $4,300 to $4,400 area. But yeah, that brings us up to the 5,000. And the other one, I was looking at this as Adam and Eve, which I believe could still be valid. Or, you know, some people are saying possible head and shoulders, cup and handle, but I'm going to stick with my original plan, which would bring this line right here, the blue line. Let me zoom in so you guys can see it. The blue line right here as the neckline, right? And what we would do is measure the atom. And like I said, guys, my targets haven't changed, so I really, the last couple days, didn't want to make a video and bore everybody with the same video, but we are going to go through the targets now. So, whoops, I measured that wrong. I'm sorry, guys. But anyway, measure the neckline, which would be right here at the around the $4,200, and then we would bring it up to that $4,200. And if we were to break out above this, that would be getting above this resistance here at the $4,200 range. Then that gives us the 52.51 target, which would break us out of this descending wedge. And which, if that happens, obviously we'll see here probably within the next couple days, maybe a week or so, if we break up this, maybe even sooner. Time's the hardest thing to judge on this stuff, guys. Remember that. So anyway, you see how I got these two higher targets. Now let's move back in. Let's look at the RSI, see what's going on there. And same thing. I had this. There's a channel drawn here with the yellow dotted line, and the solid line is a channel. And this was just a trend line I drew from these two touches here. We broke out, and I did have this as an ascending triangle before, and we broke out and come up to test the top, and I believe that's where we'll get a little bit of resistance here soon, but I think we will break through it and come up to make our new high. So let's go into the 4 hour and take a look at what's going on there in the RSI, and then we're going to take a look at the shorter term targets, guys. So all right, same thing. Had this line drawn here. We broke through the bottom of this channel, broke right back up, tested this, got resistance, and now we're breaking through. And if we break through high enough, then this becomes support. Probably get another bounce up to our next high. All right, and let's go into the 4 hour here and look at what's going on. All right, as you can see, just like in Litecoin, our RSIs are crossing right here. And again, guys, I use the 8, the 8, the 14, and the 21. And them are all crossing the 55, which is the yellow now. And that's what's giving us this push up. And I do believe we will go higher as this is a breakout. So let's look at the breakout, which would be from right here up to here. And then that's the bull flag, and then we put it to where we broke out. And that's going to lead our next target to be right around the $4,000 range. And I'm going to put that in there so we can see if it happened in my next video when we get there. So right now I believe we're headed up to the $4,000 range. Let me straighten this out a little bit. And guys, I appreciate everybody that's been subscribing and leaving your comments, and I really like reading your guys' comments, seeing, you know, what everybody thinks. So anyway, that gets us up to this next target where like I said, around the $4,000 range, and I think that's where we're headed now. Might get a little bit of resistance there, come back down, test this 38.65 area for support again. Excuse me, guys. And then continue on up to, I do have this target here at the 4,200 area because that was our old support and resistance. I don't know why there's two lines there. I guess I really don't have need for both of them, so let me get rid of one of them. All right, so that's where we're looking at now. And this 4,200 is because that's where we had obviously resistance before, and would also be the neckline of the Adam and Eve breakout that I believe may get us up into these higher targets here, guys. So that's where we're at right now. And in the 4,300, I'll show you real quick how we got that one. Let me zoom in so you guys can see. And how we would get that target is, and guys, like I said, I like to keep this simple with the simple RSI, you know, measuring our breakouts, using my EMAs, and yeah, I just like to keep it simple. And, you know, obviously we're going to have movements up and down getting up these targets. And again, guys, I like to swing trade, not day trade. Too much stress in day trade, too much crazy stuff. And, you know, people using all the different indicators and all that. I just think it's, you know, just takes too much time. And it's, I watch them guys, you know, day trade and get stressed out and whatever. But from the breakout here, from this bull flag here, or measure this flagpole, sorry, up to the bull flag, and that's what brings me to the $4,300 range. So that's where we're at with that. And I said we're going to take a look at the charts. The bears seem to be not wanting to talk about that. I know it's gold and it's a lot longer chart, but let's take a look at gold. And this is over, you know, 30 years or so. So, but obviously technology is way faster than it was back here. And I do believe that the resemblance from Bitcoin to gold is so close. Anyways, you know, the hyperwave theory. Well, if the hyperwave theory works so well, why didn't it work here? You know, and you see them showing hyperwave theories that worked, but you never see them showing the ones that don't work. And this resembles Bitcoin so much. I love to show it to you guys. But anyway, as you can see, the same thing. And let's look at it from this top. The all-time high drew a line down to where it broke down over here. Again, this is the gold chart, and it's on the weekly, guys. So now I drew this solid yellow line from the top of the second peak all the way across to the breakout. And if you look at Bitcoin, I've done the same thing, dotted line from the top to where it broke down, and then the second high to where it broke down. And now let's look at what happened next in gold from this point. You can see where we're at now. We're over in this area getting the bounces off of this bottom support. And then this is what happens with gold, which is pretty exciting, guys, if it does play out. There's no guarantees. Obviously, I'm just looking at the resemblance here, but markets run on human emotion, and human emotion never changes. So that's why I believe this is very possible. In this, we may get some more sideways action first, but if we look at Bitcoin, it's doing the same type thing. We're getting the touches off the bottom here. And, you know, I believe if we get past this 200 EMA, we break that, I believe that's going to start the next bull run. And not to say we're going to shoot up like you just seen in gold, but we definitely probably will keep crawling up. And there is a possibility, if this bottom line breaks here, guys, that we do go to lower lows. And around the $3,400 range is what I'm watching. But I really don't see it happening. I know people are gonna bash me for that. I've heard it all before, especially the bears. They get really mad when anybody says that they think the bottom's in. So that's just my opinion right now. But I am gonna go into the RSI because, like you guys know, I like to look at the RSI, and we're gonna look at the monthly on Bitcoin. And just look at this that I've drawn here that seems to be playing out perfectly. As you can see, I drew the two arches here. And this was the Bitcoin 2014 bull run over here, this peak. And as you can see, I've drawn a line to the top of the 2017, and we peaked just above it. And I've drawn the line from the bottom of 2018 to the bottom over here, and it's just above it. So this looks extremely similar, and that's why I believe this is our low. We've hit our low in Bitcoin. And as you can see over here, we hit the low over here, came back down, and did like a double bottom, which we could be looking at over here before a move up. And that would be, you know, somewhere in the June to July range. And then I believe we start moving up slowly from there. Yeah, guys, that's I just wanted to show you guys that. Like I said, I know a lot of people, you know, are calling for the lower lows and stuff, but I'm just not seeing it. And again, I could be wrong. This is only my opinion and my view of the market. But like I said, guys, everything looks like it's pointed up for now to me. So again, on the Bitcoin chart, obviously, at one point with these highs, we're going to correct. So we will have a correction down. So it's not to say we moon from here, but I am looking at these targets first, and then if we can break the $4,300 range, then I believe we're going up towards the 5,000 to 5,300 range. So all right, guys, that's my video for today. If you liked the video, please click the subscribe. The Crypto Savvy logo above my head will get you subscribed. Tick the little notification bell to get you notified when I post new videos. Give it a giant thumbs up if you like the content. Please leave your comments below. That's it. Thanks, guys.